Okay, welcome back to another episode of Access Granted. I am delighted to have four very special guests sat around the table with me today. They're all part of Team Bizpedia. They're not only good looking, but they're also extremely intellectual people. So it is my delight to share this discussion with you for the next 40 minutes. Let's start off with introductions. So Mr. Clarke, let's start with you.
Yeah, cool. My name's Paul Clarke. My company's called Uki. We're an outsourced bookkeeping service, giving business owners clarity on their financials.
Mr. Benfield.
I'm Ashley Benfield. I'm the Managing Director of P&I Group. We're a critical power company, which means we keep your lights on when the power goes out.
Steph.
Deborah Law. I own Deborah Law Interiors. We are interior architects and interior designers based in Ascot, Berkshire, working across the south.
Hi, my name is Tom Mitchell. My family own Elite Skills Arena and the Footy Lab in Bournemouth. We supply football tech and we sold to football clubs around the world. And also the Footy Lab, which is our tech open to the public for them to use.
Nice. I have my four guests. Thanks for all turning up. That's tick one. Everyone knows their name. Great. Tick two. Yeah. So let's start with our very first question. Mr. Mitchell, let's start with you.
First question. What is your number one piece of advice for improving work-life balance?
Okay. Big question. I know it's topical in a lot of people's minds. Who wants to kick me off on this one?
So I've been thinking about this one. So
I like that. Straight in. No messing. I'll take this one.
Yeah.
I'm probably the worst person to ask about work-life balance, especially if you ask my wife. However, one thing I have learned to improve that a bit is to delegate more. And that's when it comes to it, is to delegate the tasks.
Yeah.
Don't dump them onto people. So get their engagement into it, get their buy-in, and give the task away because you can't do everything.
No.
Strong start.
I think following on from what you said, actually, it's kind of, I flipped it to, I create a life-work balance. So it's rather than work-life, you kind of want to book work in around your life because that's the more important thing. It's there for longer, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think you said about getting buy-in from team for delegation, you need to get buy-in from the family to book things in because as your family gets older, I'm finding out my kids don't want to spend time with me. They're teenagers now. So, but trying to book things in around a golf or going shopping or having a coffee or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Try and book those things in your calendar first and actually stick to those things.
So your priority would be that first before?
Yeah, I think so. Because you can kind of, people are always available. Yeah. Nothing, if something doesn't happen till the next day, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But life is too short to miss things out on things with your family. And I think that's really important. So that's what I took away from that. And I've been flipping that life work thing around for a little while now. So it's been working really well.
Okay.
Nice, thanks, Paul. Deborah?
I think what I've grown to do in the last few years is actually look backwards. So whether you've come to the end of a week or the end of a month, look back and think about those that are closest to you. Have they had that time with you? What have you missed? And it's when you realise what you've missed and what you've not joined in on really makes you value what time you've lost. So I've got to the point now where I will work very little on a Friday and try and make my work Monday to Thursday. We've all got our laptops that we can just dab in for half an hour and that's fine. But I'm trying to create a 4-day week now.
And are you using the moments that you're missing from a life perspective as motivation for giving yourself that Friday off?
Yeah, I think my motivation. Beginning of COVID, my husband retired. He was in the oil industry. There's lots of industries were shedding people. They asked for volunteers, and his hand couldn't go quick enough. Got the package and off. So that draw is. So when are you retiring? It's nearly the Friday night pub question. It's like not ready. But it's made me, that was a key thing, to make me look back on what I've been doing, flogging my guts out as we do for our own business, working every hour God send. And then, so I have now, for the first time last summer, we actually had a 4-week holiday. And at the beginning of that, I thought, I'm not going to get through this without doing work. But actually, I did. And so I think I'm 10 months in to doing virtually 4 days a week. And I feel completely refreshed. Before that, I'd be stressed out. Yes, achieving what I wanted to achieve, but then personally, seeing my, personal and free time withering away because, you work that hard. But I feel much better in myself. And funnily enough, the turnover and the profit is still going up, even though I'm doing less. And actually, my question comes on to maybe why some of that might be happening. So I think yes, we can all, your New Year's resolutions, or you set like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to plan and I'm not going to work Saturday mornings or whatever. But look back, check back what you've done, because that's your greatest check on yourself. And even ask your family, so how do you feel that the last week has been, or the last month? Have you seen any more of me? Then, am I doing better? So you need that validation on your family on, how well or not you may be doing.
I suppose, the family are definitely the harshest critics.
Absolutely.
They're constantly giving you feedback. They're constantly giving you feedback as well. I don't know about you, but
That's the balance, isn't it? It's like, I've seen you too much now, I go back to work.
Yeah. Tom, with you being your question, how do you feel like you're managing your own work-life balance at the moment?
Not as well as I could do.
Okay.
I've got 4 kids. I've been for a marriage separation, so you've got that juggle of getting the kids, not getting the kids, then obviously balancing work as well on top of that. I find it tough. Definitely find it tough, and that's obviously one of my questions. And we wanted to get advice from you guys.
Well, maybe it's, I guess, like 4-day work week you've got as an option. Delegate more.
Or don't work at all.
Or don't work at all. Delegate more.
Plan it.
Change the life-work balance around.
I really like Deborah, what she said. You look back that month and actually see, what have I done with the kids first? What have I done, in that month that I've done for myself? Done for my missus, I think
I've seen a lot of people doing gratitude journals.
Yeah,
so
I love
at
a bit of
the end of the
gratitude,
day, write 3 things that you're grateful for that day. Could be anything.
Yeah.
So,
Just staying on the work-life balance piece, let's just go around the table. I want to know from a life perspective, what gives you the most joy or enjoyment? Paul Clarke.
I think for me, being at the moment with this, because it's quite, we're doing a thing at work at the moment for results-only work environment, so everybody gets to do the same thing. But the feedback is, I don't know when to stop working because they can work when they want. It's like, well, look, plan it, right? And that's kind of the whole process that I've gone through. So plan your work, plan your life, make that balance work, and that probably gives me, now I'm doing it, and I'm actually getting time to spend with people from where I was before, which was working 18-hour plus days for 2 weeks at a time, burning out. You get so much done, which makes you think, oh yeah, I've got so much done.
Yeah.
But then you just absolutely spent, and no one spent any time with you, and everyone needs that time. So you just learn to not do that, and that probably gives me the most enjoyment out of it.
Okay.
If I'm honest.
Hobbies and interests outside of work?
Well, obviously planning a day a week, like Deborah said, to go and hit some golf balls around.
Okay, so as well, golf's like a bit of escapism for you.
That's the thing, yeah. That's what I'm trying to work towards. But again, I've been doing it for
Get that
a
handicap
while.
down.
Yeah.
Of course, and it has come down because it works.
Yeah.
I think as well, you want to try and create the best version of yourself. And if you look back over your life and go, right, when was I the best that I was? What was I doing then?
Yeah.
And you want to try and get back to that, be your best version of yourself, I suppose, isn't it? At that point.
Nice. Deborah, you spoke a lot about making more time for your family in those moments. And what do you like to do with your family in those moments?
Where do we spend a lot of time on the coast? We're dog walkers, so it's usually a very long dog walk and maybe 2 or 3 pubs en route. And actually, another thing since COVID is we used to go out and eat a lot. We actually don't now with our friends. We do a lot of cooking ourselves, and that's great fun. And lots of walking, fresh air, the coast, and pubs.
Yes. Mr. Benfield?
So I have a couple of things outside of work that I really enjoy. So I'm part of the Scouts. So I run a beaver colony on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock.
How many people are in the beaver colony?
So we have 14.
This is a random fact, but I guess
We have 14 in our colony, so that's it can be quite interesting. So they're from 6 to 8.5. So it's different challenges. So my son used to be a beaver.
You're a glutton for punishment, it sounds like.
Yeah, my daughter's a beaver, but she goes to the Thursday group. So it's totally away from work, total different focus, totally different perspective of everything. And, if you want to know you've done a boring session, speak to some kids because they will let you know that it wasn't very good or, that it wasn't as fun as the last week's session. So, that's it. And then on Sunday mornings, I do enjoy a bit of sport. So I coach the under-10s rugby at Havant Rugby Club. So that's also just as fulfilling. They can be they get into that gobby stage,
What's the worst thing someone's called you?
It might
No,
not
we can
be.
bleep it out, to be fair, can't we?
Well,
But,
no, to be fair, they're all
They're
really
very polite.
nice kids.
Is it the parents?
Maybe they think that I'm probably 60, 70 years old because of all my grey hair. That's always an interesting one. I'm like, no, I'm not that old.
Okay, nice one. Thank you. So, what about you?
Yeah, making memories, I'd say.
Yeah?
Walks, Sunday roasts. We'll go to different places to try that out.
What's been your best place for a Sunday roast? Give us a recommendation.
The pear I really like.
The pear?
Yeah, in Ferndown. I do like it there. It's probably closest to me as well, so less of a walk, I suppose. But yeah, no, similar. My kids are at an age now where I know I've only got 2 or 3 years left before they want to rather spend their time with their friends and see me. So I want to make as much memories as possible. Troy loves his football, so Sunday mornings he plays for a team, so we do that in the mornings. And kind of, I get them every other weekend, so it's probably a little bit different if you're on a daily basis and you're around. So when at the short space I do have them, I don't know, I'm a bit of a softie as well. So if they want to do something, I'll do it. They wanted to watch Titanic in 3D at the cinema. I think it was a 25-year anniversary. I was like, it's a 3-hour film, but yeah. Why not?
That's what
you want to do. We'll do it. So yeah.
Very cool. Thanks, guys, for sharing. Appreciate that. Right, Clarke, coming to you. What's your question?
So my question is running your business everything you thought it would be?
Deborah?
Yeah, I think so. I've got very small business. I never intended it to grow and be multi-location and have teams of people. That was never my answer. It was about building something that's satisfactory to me and only me.
Your happiness.
And well, exactly. Yeah, I didn't have desires to build a great empire. So I think my target was that I wanted to be kind of happy with it, a certain level of development, a certain kind of level of customer, and obviously a certain amount, income that I wanted to attain. But when I got there, I thought, right, that feeds me very well, and I want to end the day really pleased and really enjoyed what I've done. So that's more my drive, and it's taken quite a lot of years, and as everybody I'm sure it is, working all hours, God's end. But you get to that level of gratification about what you've achieved. And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be about big numbers. It's about you define your happy place of what you want your business space to be. Yeah. And I think I'm there.
Congratulations. No, seriously, right? That was going to be my next question. Like, do you feel like you've achieved it?
Yeah. It probably took me longer to get there, but it's not a race either. It wasn't for me. And I think you get more out of business if you're not racing to achieve a certain size or a certain level by a certain time. A lot of my growth has been quite organic, but yeah, I'm happy where I am.
Nice. So that's a firm yes from Deborah. Awesome. Yeah. Ashley?
There's 2 parts. So is it everything I thought it would be? Yes. But there is a but on this. There is quite a lot of it I didn't expect. So I didn't expect there to be so much learning, so much knowledge gathering, so many gaps in my skill set, so much I didn't know that I didn't know until I was put into the role. It's a bit different because I don't own the business. It's my father's business and he's business partner. But during COVID, both of them kind of decided to take a back seat, and I was like, yeah, I'll step up. It sounds like a fun thing to do. 50
Still thinking that?
50 staff is great, but lots of different challenges. I just didn't expect so much time to be spent on the HR side of everything and that part of it. But then, yeah.
Do you think that's the main part of the business that you didn't expect was the people side of it?
Yeah, from being the service manager and looking after a section of the staff, I knew there was going to be that amount involved in it. But then I didn't realise when a company, how it changes everything. And quite a lot of people expect you to have the answer for everything and stuff that you're not a specialist in. I don't come from an engineering background. However, I'm a managing director of an engineering company. I come from an accounting background, so it was totally different topics. And then to try to figure out everything just from learning on the job. And in the 16 years that I've been in the critical power industry, I still don't know everything, but I'm always eager to learn and find out more things and just massive knowledge gaps that you just need to continue learning. And I think it goes back to your point that if you change the horizon out to an infinite amount of time, then you can build on that and not set yourself a target that you might not achieve.
Nice. Less pressure. Tom, what about you? What's your thoughts?
Very similar to Ashley. It's not my business. It's a family-run business. I find it's a job in itself. Every staff member has different characteristics, different individuals. So managing staff alone could be almost a full-time job. And I find, one person reacts better with an arm around them. Another one will then react with a, kick up the backside. But yeah, no, generally speaking, stuff comes out the woodwork, which you least expect. And they can be challenging. And again, similar to Ashley, you think the ins and outs of running a business, but there's so many things that, make you wake up and think, bloody hell. And even being involved in the last few years, yes, I've definitely improved on that front. So, yeah.
Stuff. Clarke, it was your question. Is running Uki everything you thought it was going to be?
Well, I've had a few businesses, and kind of over the time that I've been running, when I took that step away from a job to working for myself, I think I knew I could do it. That was the kind of overriding thing. I knew I could do it, right? So that was one thing. But then I think the opportunities it's given me, the challenges it's given me, and all those other things, I think that I just love. I love having it. I love being challenged, and being. That's what it's given me, and I didn't expect that. Those are the things that I wasn't expecting. Like, it's just more about this. That's what the question's about. The bits that you didn't know, right? So, and that for me was probably the biggest two things: the challenges and the opportunities that it's given me. I've managed to go around the world with some certain things that we've done, or I've managed to, help people on their journey. With work. And you talk about HR. It's really challenging. Everybody's different. But like you said, it's like a football team. Some you can shout at, some you can put your arm around.
Yeah.
It's the same with everybody.
Yeah.
So I think, that's probably my biggest two things. It kind of is what I thought it would be, but more. So,
Okay. Yeah. What's your okay? I'm just going to do this quickly to finish off this question. Your favourite thing about running a company?
I like helping. So I like helping people to be better and helping people to move forward, as well as I like helping clients to get the best from them. It sounds cheesy, but I'm a helper. I like to help people. I'd spend my weekend helping someone their patio. It's not mine that I never get to see. And things like that. My wife was like, "You're going off helping these people. You need to do stuff at home." I was like, "Okay, cool." So yeah, I'm a bit of a helper. So that's what I like about it.
Nice, Ashley.
It goes back to the people, building relationships. I think that's just the key part to the business and to customer and supplier relationships. It's just making sure you have those positive relationships.
Deb, what's your favourite part?
I think it's the value of what we delivered just lasts. To you can have a client and however many years later they're still recommending you to their friends, and you get that call, or you did so and so's house a few years ago, and they're still loving it. So we all want to do a great job, but what we do lasts, and I know people are going to be happy for years and years with their house. So that's a current that goes in here. The money goes in the bank. But
it's that intrinsic feeling that you three have all mentioned about contributing to others, right? Making a difference. Tom, no pressure, just making that full set.
Just focusing on the footy lab, just seeing customers coming in and the kids coming in, and they're just in, I don't know, just in paradise really. And I can only just think of when I put my head in when I was 12 years old, mad with football, and how much I would love a place like the footy lab is today. So seeing them, and then obviously coming in, signing up memberships, and and from talking about staff they're in that journey as well, and just seeing the business grow, and just putting smiles on their faces as well, and it's good.
It's making people happy. I've heard a lot of wanting to make people happy, which is cool, right?
Yeah.
Love who works. Got great characters here. Contribute, making a difference. Right, Mr. Benfield, what's your question?
So my question is, what are your 3 non-negotiables in business?
Lateness is definitely one for me.
Go on then, go for it.
Yeah, lateness. I think you could back me in, so can Kaylee over there. I'll always be first to the event. I think that's a
timekeeping.
Timekeeping is a big thing.
Okay.
I wouldn't be too sure on the dating front, having 2 employees dating each other.
Say that again.
Two employees dating each other.
Okay.
I think that's
a non-negotiable.
wow.
What do we call that? No romantic relationships.
I haven't had a good experience.
No romantic relationships at work.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool. So
Is that okay?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not my non-negotiables. They're yours. So that's fine.
Regarding like customer service, is how you manage that. I think I'm not saying customers always have to be right, but you know you've got to have staff in there that can understand to build that relationship, and if they start arguing back, it's just going to leave a big black mark on the company. So I think you've got to have the right staff for it.
Okay, so like putting the customer first.
Yeah.
Timekeeping. No romantic relationships.
No
at
romantic
work.
relationships.
3 non-negotiables. Tom Mitchell. I like
That's
it.
it.
If you want to work for Tom, that's what you got. You've got to be on board with them.
Yeah.
Deborah.
I've got to like who I'm working with. If something doesn't feel right in your gut, it usually isn't. So you've got to be kind of my kind of person. I don't negotiate on my fees. If people are trying to reduce that, then they clearly don't value what we've presented to them. And I don't bankroll anybody's job. Everything gets paid up in front. Been there, done that years ago.
Nice.
So
Strong, Deborah. Very strong. I like it. Right, Ashley, come with you.
For me, positivity. So I want a happy workforce. I just want positive people. I think the day goes a lot quicker when people come in, they're happy, and they want to be there, which is really does help. Integrity. So especially like when I'm not in the office, because apparently I'm always networking out and doing things, especially with all of Josh's events. So I want them to
That's
have
working.
integrity.
You're coughing because that's working, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So I want them to be, carry on and do the right thing, even though I'm not there. So that's quite important. And then raise the bar. So going back to what you said about making sure that the customer's experience is there. Yeah. So I want them to treat it, I know it's not theirs, but as they're part of it, that they're going to really push this forward, so it'll benefit them as well as much as me and the shareholders. So raise the bar.
Paul Clarke, 3 non-negotiables.
I've got one same here, but first,
You nicking other people's?
my biggest one's trust. So I think from the perspective of the staff, I've got to trust me, I've got to trust them. Same with clients, they've got to trust us, we need to trust them. That's probably my biggest non-negotiable is trust. I think that goes so far. Kind of leads into then integrity, as you said. But for me, integrity is more about people doing what they said they're going to do. We have to do that. And so do our team, so do our clients. If we're going to deliver on something, they've got to do what they said they're going to do to allow us to deliver. And then finally, it's something I personally look for in everything, either to add value ourselves or to look for added value. So everybody there's always something extra. It's that one extra thing that you can do before you go home that day, or that one extra thing that you can deliver. Or when you've thought of everything, there's something else. Okay, so it's that added value. For me, that's an absolute non-negotiable from what we deliver, but also what we try and get as well from anyone we work with. So,
nice. For you guys, what resonated when you listened to everyone around the table? Then I guess someone else's non-negotiables. Anything that sprang out that you liked?
My one was Tom saying about no relationships at work. So when I worked at McDonald's, that's where I met my wife.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Nice. So lucky it never worked for you, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Good
I've
stuff.
seen that happen a lot in different places I worked.
Yeah.
A lot of people get together and it's kind of okay, but the management are just like flapping
Yeah.
at the point it gets announced or something.
Yeah, I've seen it when we owned AFC Bournemouth, and it was I don't want to say names, but there was a particular incident where it just wasn't ideal.
No.
And then it just got messy, and then the staff weren't performing, and it just.
Well, from
This
isn't like, I can say this because it was on the news, international incident. So, like my brother's in the Navy on the submarines, and there was a big incident when they went over to the US, and one of the female crew posted a picture just of herself, but anyone that knew the boat, clearly in the captain's quarters, no one's allowed in the captain's quarters. 6 people, I think, got kicked out of the Navy at that point. Yeah, so it can cause a problem at every level, right? So
Okay.
Yeah.
Very thought-provoking. But luckily for McDonald's, they don't have a policy around that.
I'm not too sure if they did or not.
Deborah, question. What would you like to discuss?
Have you become more selective in who you work with and for as your years of business gone on?
Yes.
Are you picky?
Are you
Basically.
picky?
So for me, when I first started into the business 16 years ago, I wanted to service everyone and anyone, and so it didn't matter how big or how small. I was eager to win every bit of business. And as we grew and had more staff, I suddenly realised that we couldn't cater for everyone with the same energy and customer service. So we had to be more selective who we're going to work with and work for. So that dynamic.
Do you think that comes with experience?
I think it's one of those things that at the beginning, I think just the scattergun approach was like casting it out as wide as possible to see what business we could get, and then wasn't really taking into was it profitable? Did it take up too much of our time? Was it always that one private household that doesn't pay much a year for service contract that takes up so much time of everyone that it just drained everyone's resources and made the office unhappy?
Do you feel like that's a necessity though, like when you start off a business? I remember looking back at my journey when I started, I would just work for people for free, like just to try and get some customers and some
I
clients.
think if you don't know what your value proposition is at that point, because you're learning it, then definitely, you don't start Rolls-Royce going, we're going to sell cars to everyone. You go, we are Rolls-Royce, this is what we do. So, you kind of, but you refine yourself to that level. And once you know where you've refined yourself to, that's when you can hit the people you need to hit. And that's when you become selective. I think you know exactly who your market is and exactly who you're trying to sell to.
Yeah.
Are you selective now?
Yeah. We have a discovery call now, which kind of asks a few probing questions, generally about the size of the company and for us what they want from it. Because if they don't really want anything from it, we can't really get excited about that or help them. So because they didn't really want anything. So you want to find businesses that we've got like a routine now to wheedle that out really and help us on our way and help us to say no to people. It's quite.
What sort of things are you looking for to say no?
If then for specifically for our business, if they're not in a growth phase or if they don't want to grow their business, they just want to run their business. That's not very exciting for us. We like businesses that are going to grow and scale, and we build modular, robust finance structures that allow them to do that. Pick the right pieces of software and so on. So that gets us excited, and then we can go on that journey with them, which the team get excited about because they can help grow a business. So it's really good for us to build on that, and that's one of the things that we look for when we're being selective of our clients. And along the way, just to add to it, so along the way as you are growing, we're a recurring business model, so we keep clients, and we do have a phase where we're pricing. If we price this properly, that's going to double, triple their price. They probably won't want it. So we have that phase where we have to allow people to make that decision to leave, basically. But we help them and we find them another person, and we help them, to move on. But realistically, they're kind of outpriced for us. They don't want to pay the fee that is due them. So that also moves along in time. But it takes time to get there and to understand it. You're lucky if you know it from the outset. You're only going to get that from advisors, and you probably want to go against it because, like you say, you want to service everybody and help everybody. So, but yeah, you do have to do it.
Tom, selective at all? I mean, I don't suppose there's many kids you can just not let into Footy Lab, is there?
No, to start off with, we're sold to anyone and everyone. But as we set up the Footy Lab now, we turn that tap off. Anybody wants to buy any of our equipment over a 10,000 square foot site open to the public, we'll turn that tap off and say we won't sell to you because in effect there are
competitors.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we put that in place. So
you
annoyed
say no,
a lot of people because before the Footy Lab we sold to about 35 venues around the world, Egypt, Dubai, a few in America as well, and they've got plans going forward. They want they see our equipment as a USP in their sites. So it's difficult. But yeah, we are more selective now than just selling to everyone and anyone.
And Deborah, over the years, have you become more selective in terms of the people you're picking to work with? I mean, it was your original question.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, I think we're all, in the early years, you want the sale, you want that bank of customers to then grow from. So, but yes, it's the old 80-20 rule, isn't it? Once the people, Lisa, take more work and time and resource than ever before. So yeah, when I got to a point where that is the clientele that is our base and we're growing from, then anything smaller, or again, it's back to, you've got to like and have that trust with clients and suppliers, and it gets a certain, there's a certain level that we're at, and we won't go below.
Have you got any particular stories of when you've told a customer, no, I don't want to work with you?
Yes, we've got a chap. He actually owned a range of hotels, and he had me over to his property, and he said he wanted this doing and that doing. But he was very controlling, and he was, I'm going to get somebody else to do that, and after a little while, I said, very politely, well, thanks so much for inviting you, but actually, this isn't for us.
How do you take that?
And he was just like, oh, really? He just couldn't believe that I turned him down, because he was very much, well, this is who I am, and this is what I've grown, and just come and do my bit of my house over here. Sorry, I'm impersonating him with maybe a little bit up his nose. But no, it was. But that was not. Again, that's not the kind of person. We deal with really lovely people, or probably business owners like ourselves. They've grown, and they put respect and trust into somebody else to do a service for them. That's what they're paying. So unless people respect the value that what we can deliver, then I'm not interested. I had somebody that once had a butler even in his property, and he thought that he shouldn't pay for anything until it was delivered. So I said, right, thank you very much. I'll leave now. Again, I'm not bankrolling anybody's.
No, I like that attitude. Have you always been that strong with people?
More so, and I say, when I've got to a certain point, I'm not taking any crap.
You're not, are you?
No. But in the early years, then yes, I wanted to take, every job when you're starting, a business from scratch. But you just got to the point where this is just too much hard work, and it drains yourself. So it's about the value of yourself, not just about what you deliver. And once you decide that, actually your business will start to shift, and you will get the job you want. The ones that you don't actually then won't start knocking on your door, because you're presenting, however, levels of media and marketing, who you are and what you're about. And if people are, want your service, then they'll be worthy to have it. And otherwise, go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think there's a real point to that, isn't there? Like knowing your own self-worth and knowing your own value, and if you can really have the courage to kind of stand in that space and have it, it really attracts the right types of customers, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've got less customers now than I had, say, 3 or 4 years ago, but the turnover's a lot more.
Yeah.
So it's like one of the things. If you can establish that people want you, you don't need to discount anything. You don't need to give anything off. They want you. It's just that you just negotiate how you're going to work with them and get paid for it. So they come in. You've first of all got to identify why they want you. You can even ask that question: why did you invite me here today? Because I think you're the best interior designer. I want you in my house. You're like, I'm sold.
So. And I can, hand on heart, every job that we go and present to and we quote for our design fees, it's always no problem. I could have probably asked for twice as much and it wouldn't have mattered, because they're buying in to a whole service delivery.
Yeah. Cool stuff. Okay. Last question. As it's an educational podcast, I thought we'd bring a wide range of random facts today. So, ladies and gents, I would like to know my question is, what's the most random fact each of you know? Now start to my right with the handsome Tom Mitchell.
I've just jotted down, men used to wear heels before women.
Say that again.
Men used to wear heels before women.
Okay.
Apparently. I'll put another one in there as well.
Go on, share it with us. We'll take 2.
I think everybody would know that Santa was green before it was red and white.
Okay.
Right.
Nice. Random fact, Deborah. What you got for us?
The forts that were built on the Solent to stretch the necks across in the World War, the government had to raise money to build those. And they quite liked that idea, and that was apparently the birth of income tax.
Okay. Business podcast, random facts. Like what you've done there? Yeah?
It was much better than mine.
Well, Santa being green.
I'm going to leave now.
Ashley?
So mine's based on the Scouts, so being part of the Scouts. So 20 out of the 24 people on the Apollo missions were Scouts. And out of the 12 people that walked on the moon, 11 of those were Scouts as well.
Okay. Join the Scouts. It's a good testimony for the Scouts.
I've got 2.
Go on then. You can have 2.
So one's the one that I actually use a lot, which is there's only one word in the English language that has 3 consecutive double letters. And those double letters are double O, double K, double E, which is my company name, Uki, and that word is bookkeeping. So that's one fact. There you go. Or you could have bookkeeper as well. But my other random fact is that dolphins actually have names for each other. There you go.
Okay.
Pretty random, that.
Very random. Very random fact. That was the objective of the question.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. All 4 of you, I really appreciate you taking the time to come onto the podcast today. Thanks for sharing your insights and asking great questions. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks to those that listened. Until next time, stay safe. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.